Now, like the conflict diamonds at the center of Charles Taylor's trial, abundant mineral resources also fuel conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where fighting between rebel militias and the Congolese army has left an estimated 5 million people dead in the last decade. Human rights advocate John Prendergast of the Enough Project recently returned from the region and offers a sobering assessment.
We've seen a very rapid escalation in violence against women and girls. We're seeing child abductions spike. We're seeing looting of civilian populations off the charts, and we're seeing the burning of houses and villages, either by the FDLR, the Rwandan militia, or the government army.
Prendergast spoke recently at the Woodrow Wilson Center in Washington. He offered details about how the wealth from minerals, widely used in laptops, cell phones, and other electronics, is used to fund the rebels.
In every one of those electronics products, there are minerals, raw materials that are sourced in Congo. And so until we address the demand that helps fuel the violence in the Congo, it's going to continue.
The rebels say they're fighting to protect the rights of Rwandan Tutsis who fled to the DRC after the 1994 genocide in their country. The violence continues despite the arrest earlier this year of their leader, General Laurent Nkunda. Enough Project Executive Director John Norris says there are 3 specific minerals associated with the conflict in the DRC.
Tin, tantalum, and tungsten, what we call the 3 Ts, as well as gold. Probably about 80% of the trade that we see in tin, tantalum, and tungsten out of eastern DRC is illicit trade. It generates between $100 and $200 million worth of revenues every year.
Some members of the U.S. Congress recently introduced legislation to end the exploitation of such resources tied to human rights violations.
My question to you is that
Prendergast fielded questions at the Woodrow Wilson Center about how to end the conflict. He says he supports the idea of a special U.S. envoy to the region.
Working through that envoy, finding ways to deal with the minerals, looking at the relationship between Rwanda and Congo, and ultimately helping to build the Congolese state are the imperatives for U.S. engagement in Congo.
Congolese policy analyst Bahati Jacques of Africa Faith and Justice Network says the DRC government is too weak and ineffective to end the conflict itself, and that international journalists should pay more attention to the conflict.
Unless we have a Congolese army that can defend the Congo, defend the constitution and the rights of the Congolese people, their properties, we will continue seeing many deals that are not in the interests of the Congolese people.
Margot Bokanga, a Congolese graduate student at American University in Washington, says she too believes the violence persists because the government is weak.
The greed, the political opportunism that certain people in the DRC government and also the rebel group and some folks in the international community, it's an incentive to create war because you can control the resources more easily because there is not, the state is not there to regulate the economy.
Bahati Jacques also says Rwanda's government and army, the Democratic Liberation Forces of Rwanda, bear some responsibility for the violence in eastern Congo.
I think it's crucial that we demand that the government in Kigali opens up to the political process, to the FDLR, and therefore talk about what happened before '94 and after '94 in Rwanda as well as in the Congo.